Hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of IGTV. Cassandra with you here. Be sure to check out my website at cassandravon.com. Also, check out and subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/CassandraVonTV. All right, let's get into this one because I think there will be a lot of people who will be pissed off by what I'm about to say. But I intentionally called this IGTV episode the Empath Excuse because I see so many people out in the world. Well, I see two terms that are being used a lot today. The first term that I see to describe people or how people show up in the world that I see being used a lot is narcissist. Everybody's a narcissist today. Everybody, according to a lot of people who want to diagnose their partners, their friends, their family as a narcissist. Let me just say this super quick, coming from a therapy background. Narcissism is a personality disorder, and unless you are licensed to use the DSM-5 at this point, maybe DSM-6 if you're watching this in a few years, unless you're licensed to use the DSM-5 to formally diagnose somebody, you don't know if they're a narcissist. They might have narcissistic tendencies, but guess what? We all do. So if you take selfies, you have narcissistic tendencies, just telling you. So narcissist is the first thing that I see people talking about a lot. The second term, and this is the topic of today's IGTV episode that I see people mentioning a lot, is empath. Everybody's an empath today, according to a lot of people on social media. I'm an empath. That's why I'm so sensitive. That's why I feel things so deeply. That's why I tend to attract these users because I'm an empath. I'm not even going to go down the road of getting into what an empath is and what an empath isn't, other than to say this: an empath is not a human doormat. And that is the empath excuse that I want to get to. A lot of people are blaming being an empath for the reason they don't set healthy boundaries, they don't hold to their boundaries, they don't get rid of toxic people in their lives, they don't create wonderful relationships where they feel they're being mistreated and manipulated. Lots of people are using the empath excuse so they can play the victim in their lives. Let me help you out. Very few people are empaths. I'm not going to go woo-woo on you, and I'm not going to go into spirituality and all that fun stuff, but let me be very clear. Very few people are actually truly the definition of empaths. Do a little research on empaths. Go into the actual research and the spirituality. Very few people are empaths. So if what you're saying to yourself is, the reason I get used, the reason I get abused, the reason I get manipulated, the reason I'm a human doormat, the reason why when people criticize me, I take it so hard and I'm hypersensitive to everything is because I'm an empath, I'm going to call bullshit on that. More than likely, it's not that you're an empath. More than likely, you're allowing yourself to be manipulated. You're allowing yourself to make excuses for why you're not setting clear boundaries with people. And it is also an excuse for you to not have to stand up in your life and say to everyone in your life, this is what I will accept, this is what I will not accept. Now, are people more sensitive than others? Yeah, we all have our triggers. I mean, I remember being in grade school, and for whatever reason, I went to Catholic school. For whatever reason, if a teacher or an adult would yell at me, I was triggered. I was triggered to the point where my only coping mechanism, it's so crazy. I think I still do that sometimes now, but less now. My only coping mechanism whenever I would be yelled at by an adult would be to laugh, which, as you know, if somebody's yelling at you're yelling at somebody and the kid is laughing at you, it makes you even more irate, and then you yell even more. And did that make me sensitive to adults yelling at me as a child? Yes, it did. Did people need to start dealing with me with kid gloves and be more gentle and talk in a softer tone? No, because I never would have learned to overcome that sensitivity with that. Now, did that sensitivity to adults yelling at me make me an empath? No. So what am I saying? Listen, we all have intuition. We all have the ability to have empathy for other people. The depth to which we feel empathy for people and the extent to which we allow empathy to become sympathy, to then become codependency, is actually learned behavior. it is not just this is who I am and I can't do anything about it. That's a cop-out. So what am I saying at the end of the day? Stop using being an empath as your reason to not set proper boundaries with people, to not protect your mind from emotional vampires. And yes, there are emotional vampires in the world. Don't let empath be the reason that you accept a mediocre life where you are codependent, you are a human doormat, and people are manipulating you all the time. Could you be more sensitive to manipulation? Possibly. Is it still up to you to handle the manipulation? Absolutely. So, some people may not like this. They may go, well, I am an empath, and what you're saying is you're blaming me for being who I... If you want to own being somebody who can easily be manipulated, used, and abused, and an emotional wreck most of the time as a result of that, then you by far go ahead and own that. But that would not be the life I was trying to create for myself. So, own it if that's what you want to do. But do not confuse being an empath with not setting proper boundaries, because at the end of the day, regardless of what you want to title yourself, you still have to be responsible for the decisions that you make in your life, and you still have to deal with the consequences. That's all I wanted to say.